Can Zhen Huan, blessed with both beauty and talent, truly outshine all in the imperial harem and enjoy everlasting favor? Since having this child in my belly, the novelty and vigor of life always fill me with joy and astonishment. On quiet days, I love to place my hand gently on my lower abdomen, very lightly and carefully, as if even the weight of my hand might press down on him. Gradually, I've grown accustomed to this posture, half out of tenderness, half out of protection. In the spring, sunlight filters through the thin, cicada wing-like bright clouds and window screens into the room, making the screens seem as light as ice, as if they've condensed countless golden lights, making the Inshin Hall appear especially spacious and bright. The leisurely sunlight shines on the few branches of newly blossomed light red peach blossoms in the rue where Beauty's shoulder vase on the desk, their fresh and beautiful colors captivating. I had some pastries from the table and picked up a scroll to read. Chun'er, leaning on the windowsill with her hands hooked, peered out at the endless spring scenery. After watching for a while, she suddenly pouted and murmured, "There's nothing but walls to see, really nothing interesting." Seeing me also sitting idly, she said excitedly, "The sun is so nice today, sister, come fly kites with me. I kept 2 pretty ones from your birthday the other day." I put down my book and laughed. "You can never sit still, not a single peaceful day. I heard that yesterday you were playing catch in your quarters and even smashed an enamel-painted screen gifted by the Emperor." Chun'er stuck out her tongue. "The Emperor won't blame me." She came over, laughing and wrapping around me like a twist of candy. "It'd be good for sister to get out and clear her mind too. Staying in all the time makes one lazy. Who knows if my little nephew will be a lazybones when he's born." I couldn't help but laugh, looking out the window. Indeed, it was a warm and bright spring day. "That sounds good, I've been feeling cooped up too. The spring scenery is picturesque and I long to stroll through it, but I'm wary of my wound getting infected by dust. And after the incident with Du Liangdi, I'm a bit shaken, so I took extra people with me, covered my face with a veil and went out together. In the Shangling garden we found an open space and Chun'er's kite flew excellently, almost not needing the eunuch's help to soar high. Presumably, she was also accustomed to this skill in her childhood. On the lush grass, only her crisp laughter could be heard, tinkling like wind chimes swaying under the eaves. Seeing the kite fly high, she laughed and shouted, very proud. Naturally, she had reasons to be proud, being the youngest favored concubine. Xianling always indulged her, and since I was pregnant and couldn't attend to Xianling often, he would stay with her more often due to proximity. Recently, Xianling even mentioned that when Chun'er turned 16, he plans to make her an official concubine. Looking up at the kite in the clear sky, now just a black dot, I recalled the spring afternoons of my childhood, practicing needlework at home, bored nearly to sleep, nodding off like a pecking bird, when suddenly my brother popped his head in from outside the boudoir window grinning. "Sister, let's sneak out of the mansion and fly kites." Spring breezes turned the willows green year after year, and childhood, always flying through our fingers at an unimaginable speed. It seems I only flew kites with my brother once, dyed my fingernails with phoenix flowers in the courtyard, stealthily napped under the watchful eye of our tutor, and eagerly counted magpies under the grape trellis watching cowherd and weaver girl on Qixi festival, and those carefree days quietly passed. And now I am about to become a mother. I looked at Chun'er with a smile. Among the concubines of the harem, only she is as bright and radiant as the spring sunshine, and I, gradually becoming like a crescent moon, bright yet belonging to the night, concealed and subtle. I gently stroked my slightly bulging belly, which was actually not very noticeable. If my child could be as lively and cheerful as Chun'er, that would be wonderful, just not too naive. It's fine for a princess, but for a prince, naivety is absolutely inappropriate. As I pondered this with a smile, I suddenly heard Chun'er cry out in alarm. The string of her kite had snapped, and the kite was now drifting away. Chun'er panicked and hurried to search for it. I quickly instructed Xiao Liz, "Follow your young master quickly and help her retrieve the kite." Xiao Liz agreed with a yes and hurried to follow, but Chun'er stamped her foot and pouted, "Don't let anyone follow, sister. They'll only get in the way." Chun'er is just a child at heart, and when she gets angry, she is quite something, so the servants had no choice but to stop and look at me hesitantly. I looked at where the kite had fallen. It wasn't too far, and I couldn't really argue with her, so I had to follow her. As she strode off, I instructed a few eunuchs to follow at a distance. Willows were planted all around Tay Pool, and at this time of year, The branches were bursting with soft, goose-yellow leaves. Even the air seemed dyed a smoky green. Fine willows dipped into the water, accompanied by the breeze stirring the calm lake surface, with willow fluff flying around like snowflakes. A peach blossom tree by the pool was reflected in the water, vibrant as if in full bloom. The wind scattered petals into the clear waves, and between the shimmering waters was a faint fragrance. Far away, palace maids in small boats were leisurely laughing and playing, wearing wreaths of willow branches on their heads, their laughter carrying over. I watched for a while and felt tired, so I sat down to rest on a long stone bench under the peach tree. Spring is so intoxicating, yet who knows how many heart-stopping moments it contains. I suddenly remembered the dangerous situation during the flower viewing in the Empress's palace, the hands that pushed me from behind. After the event, despite thorough investigations, no trace of the person was found. No wonder, in the chaos, who would notice which pair of hands pushed me into danger. However, I wasn't truly unaware of who it was. Recalling the event, the scent on the ribbon was familiar, but she had forgotten such a detail. Yet, I kept silent, partly because there was no concrete evidence, and partly because this person might be useful to me in the future. My peripheral vision suddenly caught a glimpse of a cherry-red silhouette. Before I could speak, Jin Shi, who was by my side, had already respectfully greeted Jie Chao as well. My gaze shifted slightly, meeting those deep and narrow eyes directly. Chao Qima was dressed in a silver-white inner garment outlined with precious flower patterns, draped with a layer of translucent light cherry-red crepe, holding a moon-white handkerchief, and greeted me with a gentle smile. "May Guifei Wan be well." I extended my hand to help her up. "Sister Chao, please rise, there's no need for such courtesy." Her smile was gentle and her eyes clear. In fact, her beauty was just above average, but her smile added a touch of gentleness, and her simple yet elegant attire made her particularly appealing. She smiled softly. "I didn't expect to encounter Guifei here." I sat down with her and gestured for Jin Shi and the others to stand far away, not allowing them to overhear our conversation. I laughed and said, "Sister seems to be unfamiliar with me, better to call me younger sister." Seeing that I had isolated everyone to sit alone with her, her smile was ambiguous. "Ever since younger sister became pregnant, it seems you rarely go out, being extra cautious. Now, why are you comfortable leaving everyone behind?" My eyes narrowed slightly and I chuckled lightly. Sister Chao jests. How could I be worried? With sister by my side, if anything were to happen to me, it would naturally be sister's fault, and sister would surely take full care of me. Besides, I smiled faintly, my gaze casually sweeping over her. "There's no one here to push me." Jie Chao was slightly taken aback but remained composed, her smile blooming like a flower. Younger sister jests. "Who would dare to push you? They wouldn't dare to lift a finger, let alone push," she exclaimed in surprise. "Did someone push younger sister at some point?" She placed her hand on her chest, feigning shock. "As your sister, I was unaware. Have you informed the emperor?" Her flawless demeanor made me doubt myself for a moment, but upon reflection, I was certain. The gift from Xianling that I had given her privately, she wouldn't dare re-gift to others. I couldn't mistake the scent of honey fusion. With this in mind, I neither confirmed nor denied but casually continued. "How has the Princess Wen Yi been recently?" She immediately became alert, like a mother bird protecting her chicks. "You're too kind, sister. Wen Yi just has a small cough, it's nothing serious," I nonchalantly remarked. Indeed, as long as there are no more incidents like the mistaken tapioca flower, the princess's precious health will surely remain intact. Her expression suddenly stiffened, losing her composure, she stammered. "The emperor has already dealt with Xiao Tang, who made the mistake with the tapioca flower. There shouldn't be such incidents anymore." I smiled gently. "Let's hope so. Now that I'm about to become a mother, I can especially understand the feelings of a mother. Sister, raising the princess must have been quite difficult. I heard it was a perilous birth." She was visibly moved. "Indeed, being a mother is extremely challenging. I worry about her constantly, and any slight discomfort she feels is like a knife to my heart. I would willingly bear all her pain." I nodded, looking her straight in the eyes. Sister Chao is very wise, naturally knowing how to raise the princess. There's no need for me to say more. However, I advise sister, it's good to have someone's protection, But you must consider who that person is, otherwise, you might end up suffering in silence. She paused, her expression turning slightly displeased. I'm slow to understand. I really don't grasp what my sister is saying. I brushed the fallen petals off my clothes with a handkerchief, smiling leisurely. If sister doesn't understand, then I understand even less. But there's one thing I do understand. When consort Hua was searching the chrysanthemum hall unsuccessfully, someone was pushing the situation along. Although it wasn't to help me, I still appreciate the gesture. Seeing her face change, I smiled even more relaxedly. I also understand that being an accomplice to a tiger has no good ending, but turning from darkness to light is the best way to protect oneself and others. Sister surely understands that a good bird chooses the tree it nests in. Her expression fluctuated, uncertain, but eventually settled back to normal. Whether it's clear or hidden remains an unknown. After a moment of silence, seemingly hesitant, she finally spoke a few words. You better go have a look. With that, she hurriedly left.
Follow us to avoid getting lost and enjoy endless exciting stories. For more content, please go to the Story Wall homepage to view more exciting novels.